So I'm doing a review on my my Akarapovic Thai exhaust. So I had it for a little while now. What is it, a month or 2 months now? I can't even remember. But anyways, and you see my other videos. You know that I previously I had the Termignoni exhaust. So why did I pick this to? And I took off the Termignoni was because I wanted something that was a little bit more low key. What I like about this exhaust is it's an underbelly exhaust. Looking from the front or the back, you can't see the exhaust at all. It's completely hidden, right? Look there, and there's no there's no exhaust, right? No exhaust sticking out. Unlike the Termignoni or the stock, right? There's nothing sticking out. So it's actually very low key. Even though it obviously doesn't match the stock all blacked out exhaust. That's the ultimate low key exhaust there. But the main reason why I got the exhaust was because I want to reduce the weight. This bike, Yamaha says this bike curb weight is 430 pounds. Getting rid of this, the factory, and putting this on, I easily got rid of. How much weight did I get rid of? I think in total I probably got rid of like 8 pounds or 10 pounds or something like that. Basically this exhaust was about half the weight of the stock exhaust, or just a little bit over half the weight of the stock exhaust. So that alone brought me down to about close to 420 pounds just from that. But obviously I added a few things, right? I added the frame slider, so that's a little bit of weight right there. But the good thing is this is aluminum, so it's very light. I added the axle sliders, front and rear axle sliders, so that added a little bit of weight there as well. Unsprung weight too. So that's unsprung weight. If you add weight, it's best to have sprung weight instead of unsprung weight. But that's nothing you can do about that. But here I'm trying to reduce weight, but there's certain things that you want to have, and there's the protection, the bike protection stuff, are the stuff that you want to have as far as adding weight. Oh, and also my look up here, also the steering dampener, right? Steering dampener. So obviously that's gonna add weight too. So those things add weight, but at the same time there's a trade-off for that weight. You're getting certain things instead of just being looks. Some people they change their bikes around to have all these different looks, but then all that stuff adds weight without actually functioning, without being truly functional. It's just for looks. So anyways, back to the exhaust. So that's the main reason why I did it, was to take out some weight. And there's noise, and I'm not a big fan of noise. That's the reason why I leave the dB killer in, and also I got the catalytic converter right in here as well. That will reduce noise, but also it keeps the flow more similar to stock. Speaking of flow, this Akarapovic, I don't as the way it is with the dB killer and the dB killer and the catalytic converter in it, compared to the Termignoni with its dB killer and catalytic converter in it, I would say that the Termignoni flows a little better. I think it has a little bit more, gives you a little bit more horsepower. Even though obviously I have no dyno or anything like that, but what I noticed the difference is that with the Termignoni, it actually, especially on the top, the higher end, it actually revs up faster. So that's what I noticed. And usually when something is able to rev up a little faster, that usually means it flows a little better, and it gives you a little bit more top end horsepower. So I think the Termignoni has a little bit more top end horsepower than the Akarapovic does. But being this being a little bit more restricted, it probably maybe gives you a little bit more low end torque, and the low end torque on this actually feels like the stock low end torque, with the stock pipe. Whereas the Termignoni, the low end torque didn't quite feel like the stock pipe. I think it might have been slightly less, just a tad bit less. So there's always a trade-off. So really, realistically, I don't need all that power. I prefer torque. So this was a good thing. Let's see what else about this thing. So what I don't like is that L angle right here. on the exhaust header. It just doesn't quite look right. You know, the Termignoni, it hugs the curvature of the engine, and that looks really sweet. But this one, it looks kind of, I don't know, it looks kind of goofy. Just aesthetically, it just doesn't look right. But the positive thing is that it gives me a little bit more space as far as changing the, you know, like changing the oil and such. Just a little bit more space here with the Termignoni. Actually, this is a shorter oil filter. The previous oil filter I had was about that. You know, it came out, I would say it came out to probably about 3/4 of an inch longer. So it came out to almost flush with this this hose here, almost. And the Termignoni, the Termignoni pipe itself was probably came down to the other end of this, you know, being flush with the other end of this. So you only had about an inch, you know, with a longer oil filter. You only had about an inch between the two. You know, with this one, you probably have almost 2 inches between the two. So that was a little bit tighter there. And the Termignoni, the header, it actually, you know, this one, you look at the header, it's pretty much almost straight until it gets here, then it comes up. The Termignoni actually, it curves out this direction as well, you know, diagonally. So there's, you have a little bit less space here. Let's see, if you have a big socket wrench head, you know, a high profile one, it probably won't fit with the Termignoni. You know, you have to use either open end wrench or low profile socket wrench head and low profile sockets to fit the motor drain bolt. But since, you know, since then I actually put in this Fumoto valve, so I don't have to do any take it on and off. It's basically taking this clip off, flipping this lever over, and it drains out. But anyways, so yeah, so that's a little bit more convenient right here, a little bit more room, but look wise, it just, you know, it doesn't look as cool. The header doesn't look as cool. Right, the header doesn't look as cool, but I prefer the look of the can itself better. I like this you know, this three pipe looks kind of cool. You know, it mates with the CP3, you know, Yamaha CP3, right? The CP3 right here. So yeah, so that's that aspect of it. So yeah, I mean, the main thing is that this is more tucked in, is what I liked. A little bit more tucked in, and so I mentioned the Termignoni has a little bit, you know, it revs a little freer at the top end. The other difference between the two, besides the looks, is the sound. The Termignoni just sounds so much. It just sounds better. It's you know, it's deeper, it's throaty. This one is a little bit not as deep, a little bit raspy. Yeah, possibly maybe a little bit quieter too than the Termignoni. So yeah, so if you want the better sound, I would definitely recommend the Termignoni over the Akarapovic exhaust. But you know, the Termignoni, like all the other brands, the can actually comes out. It actually comes out here a little bit, and you know, from the back. When I'm looking from the back here, obviously this one you don't see nothing, but the Termignoni will stick out like that far. So just like all the other brands, doesn't matter which brand you look, besides the Akarapovic. So in that regards, you know, I like the Akarapovic better. So yeah, so that's about it. So I think I'm gonna keep this one just because I like the low key, you know, tucked under look more. So and really, as far as sound goes, you know, for me anyways, when I'm riding, once I get to 50, I can't hear it. You know, the wind noise is greater than the exhaust noise, so I really can't hear the exhaust noise once I pass, you know, get to 50. How do I know the Termignoni is a little bit deeper? When it's obviously you're sitting here, you know, when it's idling you hear it, when you're riding at lower speeds you hear it, but at higher speeds, you know, the thing with sound, lower frequency sound is able to pass through things better than high frequency sound. So when I'm riding, you know, a bike, I usually have my earplugs in, almost not all the time, but most of the time. have my earplugs on, especially obviously on higher speed runs. I will for sure have my earplugs on, and with the earplugs on, you can actually hear the Termignoni a little bit more because deeper sound will able to pass through the earplugs easier than higher pitch sound. Higher pitch sound gets blocked off easier. So in that regards, I can actually hear the Termignoni more than the Akarapovic. So yeah, so that's my review of the of this exhaust. So again, to recap, main thing is that it's not as deep as the Termignoni, and the top end rev or top end power, I don't think it's as much because the Termignoni it's just revs a little bit quicker, it's faster up on the top end. All right, so thanks for watching.